I can't name anyone who has that much integrity as she does to the things she is accomplishing. It's pretty amazing. Having Claire as a role model, just a strong woman in science, and just so smart and so kind, is a huge confidence booster. It is like I can do that too. That is possible. That is successful. That is what I want to do.
I would call Claire as the pioneer of this field.
The amount of quality that she puts in her work is second to none.
I know the people who have tenacity. I know the who have integrity. But Claire has a fantastic combination of the both.
Every morning, Dr. Claire Parkinson gets up before sunrise and runs 2 miles to work. She hasn't missed a day in nearly 40 years. The evolution of sea ices and how we observe it from space is because of her research. This year, she is celebrating 40 years at NASA.
When I arrived at NASA, which was in July of 1978, it was an incredibly exciting period here. Satellites were launched, and a lot of data were being collected.
NASA scientists were inundated with data, and Claire was given the information of sea, trying to make sense of very raw and very new data. It was around that time Dr. Claire and her team devised many principles for sea ice still in use today. How does something like that record help you do your job?
That record is fundamental to understand the sea ice, without which we would not know how rapidly it is changing.
You may not realize it, but Claire's work studying the changing extent of the ice cap deeply affected our understanding of climate change. And now we have been clear how climate affects life on Earth.
One of the Claire's signals for the climate change that resonates has been this: shrinking of polar ice caps in the summer. We would only be able to see it because of Claire's work.
After we had the record that was not 15 to 20 years long, we started noticing that the extent of the ice in poles is getting smaller with time.
Sea ice is present on the surface of oceans and is made of seawater. The biggest sea ice is in Arctic, and this is there. The biggest loss of sea ice is happening every year. NASA reports sea ice's minimum and maximum extent. As expected, the data is alarming.
By now, not only has this lesser thin, cracky ice continued, but it is accelerating. Therefore, the loss is bigger than it had been in past.
These trends are very troubling, but one thing is sure. Our awareness of shrinking sea ice due to climate change was propelled faster and further after Dr. Parkinson arrived at NASA.
I mean, she takes her job seriously, and as the matter of welfare of the space instruments is concerned, she is always on it. You need not worry if Dr. Parkinson is in the field. She is mind-blowing.
In science, we stand on the shoulders of giants, on the shoulders on those who have explored before us. But then some among us are giants. In the next episode of Cryosphere, we shall be discussing glaciers and ice sheets.
Rational knowledge.